Welcome back to the Montana Real Estate channel. If you're new to the channel, please check out our various videos on Montana communities, Montana lifestyle, Montana culture, and things to do in Montana. We hit everything from the cost of real estate in various towns and cities to price points in specific neighborhoods and what and where to eat. Today, we're going to try to tackle the cost of living question in 7 different communities in western Montana. I'm Craig Siphers, and I work with my daughter Erica at Exit Realty Bitterroot Valley, and we're part of the Siphers family. And our family's been helping folks buy and sell real estate in Montana since 1966. If you're thinking about moving to Montana or perhaps moving from one town to another, well, we'd like to be a resource for you. We have offices all over the state of Montana, and we get calls, texts, emails almost every day from folks just like yourself. And all the information that you need in order to reach out to us is in the description below. And don't hesitate to use our family's collective real estate expertise to benefit you in your real estate buying and selling decisions. So we're committed to doing this video on the cost of living across the state. And it's not easy to compare, but here we go. To compare some basic costs in several different communities in Montana, we're going to focus on the data from Neighborhood Scout in order to keep things pretty level. We're going to look at the communities of Hamilton, Missoula. Going up north, we're going to check in on Kalispell and Whitefish up above Flathead Lake. Then we're going to come down and check out Helena. We're going to come up and check out Great Falls. And we're going to come over to about mid-state and check out the largest city in Montana, that is Billings. And we'll check out the general real estate market. We'll talk about the economies, demographics, talk about crime in those communities. And we're going to use the common database. In my research, I got different information from nearly every source I researched. So for the purposes of this video, we are going to be using the Neighborhood Scout so that the population data may be a little bit different than the previous videos on these 6 communities, because we have neighborhood and details about things to do, history, and all of that on those 6 videos. We haven't done one on Billings. So we're going to start out with the community of Hamilton, which is located right down very near the Idaho border, next to the Bitterroot-Selway Wilderness area. And Hamilton is the county seat of Ravalli County, and it has a population of 5,165 souls and is the 23rd largest community in Montana. Now, if you like science, and one thing you'll find is that Hamilton has lots of scientists living in town. Hamilton is home to GlaxoSmithKline facility, as well as a Bio Level 4 lab at Rocky Mountain Labs, which is a National Institute of Health facility. And there are a number of Forest Service employees and healthcare workers. So you'll have these scientists running all over town. And the residents of the city have the good fortune of having one of the shortest daily commutes compared to the rest of the country. On average, they only spend about 15.36 minutes getting to work every day, which is quite a bit different than, say, for example, San Francisco, LA, or even Seattle and Portland. The percentage of people in Hamilton who are college educated is somewhat higher than the national average. The U.S. community is at 21.84 across the nation, and Hamilton has a 28.10 of the folks have college degrees or higher, and they have at least a bachelor's degree. And 91.2% of the population are high school grads. The per capita income in Hamilton in 2022 was $33,691, which is upper middle income relative to Montana and middle income relative to the rest of the U.S. The median household income is $45,973. And the U.S. median household income is $75,149. Now, however, Hamilton contains both wealthy and poor folks as well. 13.5% of the population is below the poverty line. Sometimes poverty levels can impact crime statistics, and Hamilton has a crime index of 33, where 100 is the safest. It is 33% more safe than other U.S. cities. Now, they also have, the disparity of income. You've got a lot of second homes there. It's kind of the area of billionaires, and you can check that out in our Hamilton video. The crime rate in Hamilton is actually higher than 75%. Other Montana cities and towns of all sizes, and that's for both property and violent crimes. And property crimes make up the majority of the crime statistics in Hamilton and Ravalli County, for that matter. Now, for real estate, Hamilton's average home price is $830,262. Now, the median home price is $582,000. That's according to the Montana Regional MLS. This clearly demonstrates there were a number of very large sales in 2024, because in the past years, the average was more in the mid 500,000 range as the average. Have you ever thought about or considered moving to the Bitterroot Valley? Well, we invite you to tap that logo down here on the right-hand side of your screen. Reach out to us. We're right here in the Bitterroot Valley, along with offices across the state, but we'd like to be a resource for you in the Bitterroot Valley. Now, Missoula has a population of approximately 76,955 and is home to the University of Montana. 10.68% of the people work from home. While this number may seem small overall, as a fraction of the total workforce, it's high relative to the nation, and many of the workers are often telecommuters who work for national companies from all over the country, while other are at-home workers that may be self-employed, folks who operate small businesses from home. And because it's a university town, there are quite a few young, single, educated, and upwardly mobile folks who consider Missoula a great place to live without being in a big city. And moreover, there are opportunities for friendships and fun with folks much like themselves. Now, the average commute to work in Missoula is 16.91 minutes, another plus for Western Montana. And it's substantially less, of course, than the national average. However, if you were to ask folks in the surrounding area, how's the traffic in Missoula, they would say it's horrible, especially Reserve Street at rush hour. Missoula is an educated place with a full 50.3% of its adults having a college degree or even an advanced degree, compared to a national average across all communities of 21.84%. There are 96.6% of the population graduated high school. The per capita income in Missoula is $39,374 compared to $41,261 nationally, and a median income of $59,783, with 14.6% of the population living below the poverty level. The crime rating is 5% safer than the rest of the U.S. Now, that's not a glowing statistic, but the largest statistic for violent crime is assault. And this could obviously include a bar fight or two, perhaps. Now, the average home price in Missoula market is $696,717, and the median home price is $623,500. We're just curious ourselves if you have ever driven in traffic in Missoula, and maybe compare and contrast that with Seattle if you've been involved in driving in both places. Just leave us a comment down below and share with us. Kalispell is our next stop, and Kalispell has a population of 28,450 folks, and it's situated just north of Flathead Lake and is the county seat of Flathead County. Many workers in the area also do telecommuting, and those who do go to work, the commute again is quite small at about 17 minutes. The overall education level of Kalispell citizens is substantially higher than the typical U.S. community, as 31.7% of the adults in Kalispell have at least a bachelor's degree, and the average American community has about 21.84% of its population with college degrees. I mentioned that before. And 96.2% of the population in Kalispell has a high school diploma. Our per capita income in Kalispell is $32,570, and median household income is $57,123. And only 10.4% of the folks there in Kalispell live below the poverty line. Now, the crime index in Kalispell is 10, so it's not super safe in Kalispell, but at least assaults are roughly half of what they are in Missoula. Now, the average home price is $692,422, and the median home price so far in 2024 is $575,256. I call Whitefish the mini Aspen. It's very much a tourist and recreational town. It's the home of Whitefish Mountain Resort, which was previously known as Big Mountain Resort, which is a world-class ski destination. It is also on the banks of Whitefish Lake. The real estate in Whitefish is some of the most expensive in America, let alone Montana. And it has a population of 8,915 folks in 2020, making it the 13th largest town in Montana. The majority of the population is between 35 and 55 years old, and 55.9% of the population has a college degree, and 97.9% have high school diplomas, which is a fair bit more than the national average and quite a bit higher than most towns in Montana. The per capita income in Whitefish is $58,504, and the median household income is $69,919, with only 6.8% of the population living below the poverty line. Now, Whitefish crime index is 19, meaning that it is 19% safer than the rest of the cities in the United States. And there's very little violent crime, but the overall is 22.1 on the crime index per 1,000 residents. Real estate really is very expensive. Average home price in Whitefish is $1,817,211, and the median home price is $1.2 million so far in 2024, according to the Montana Regional Multiple Listing System. And you'll want to check out our Whitefish video when you have the opportunity. It's a bit east of the communities we've highlighted so far and sits basically along the Continental Divide. It is the capital of Montana and has become somewhat of a financial spot in the state, along with Great Falls. It has a population of 33,885, and it's the sixth largest city in the state of Montana. Now, do you have a four-year college degree or a graduate degree? Well, if so, you'll feel right at home in Helena, because 50.52% of the adults here have a four-year degree or a graduate degree. As mentioned earlier, the average for all cities and towns nationally is just 21.84%. 96.2% of the population has at least a high school education. And $43,016 is the per capita income in Helena, and the median household income is $64,798, which is a bit less than the national average of around $75,000. Crime in Helena, if you don't count the legislature and the rest of the government, has an index of 5, matching Missoula's crime index. And your average home price in Helena as of 2024 was $577,337, and the median home price so far in 2024 is $490,000. And if you're thinking about knowing a little more about Montana and that area around Helena, be sure to tap the logo down below so you'll have an opportunity to see some of the videos that we put out on various communities in Montana. We do have one on Helena, so and be sure to like and share and subscribe to the Montana Real Estate channel. Great Falls is bisected by the Missouri River and has a population of 60,382 folks and is the third largest city in Montana behind Billings and Missoula. Great Falls is the breadbasket of Montana, with a huge wheat fields, barley, and other agricultural products, along with a strong financial sector. Now, Great Falls is known as the Electric City, as it was electrified by hydroelectric power at the turn of the 20th century. And it also can be known as the Windy City. In the population over 25, only 26.8% of the population has a college graduate degree, and 93.5% of the folks have a high school degree. Now, wheat farmers can make a ton of money, but for Great Falls, the per capita income is not much different than the rest of the state of Montana at $33,437. And the median household income is $58,272, and about full 15% of the folks there live below the poverty line. Along with the poverty rate often comes crime, and in Great Falls it's no exception, as its crime index is 3. That's not so hot, but given there are 4.97 violent crimes per 1,000 residents and the 44.85 property crimes per 1,000 residents, it's mostly property crimes. The average home price as of October of 2024 was $353,559. And the median price of a home in Great Falls, according to the MRMLS, is $329,400. Now remember, we're going to have a graph at the end of this that will let you nicely compare these various communities in Montana. Finally, we take a look at Billings, which is Montana's largest city. It's far from the size of most metropolitan communities, but if you understand that Montana has just 1.1 million inhabitants, Billings stands out with a population of 119,960. 37.17% of the adults in Billings have a bachelor's degree or even an advanced degree, and 95.7% of the population has a high school diploma. The per person income in Billings is $40,679 versus $41,261 nationally, and the median household income in Billings is $69,692, just a bit more than $5,000 below the national average. 11.1% of the population lives below the poverty line, and crime by the numbers is indexed at 2. Billings is safer than 2% of the cities in America, with a rate of 51.64 violent or property crimes per 1,000 people. Now contrast that with Chicago, which has just 37.15 violent and property crimes committed per 1,000 residents for an index of 6. Believe me, there's a difference, and this really amplifies the old adage that there are lies, damn lies, and statistics. Question would be, and put it in the comments, would you rather walk down the street of Chicago in the evening hours, walk in Billings? Well, trust me, I'll take Billings any day. Now, in terms of real estate, extremely affordable. The average home sale is at $413,000, and the median home sold is $380,000. When we look at Montana as a whole, within the population areas that we've just talked about, along with several others, it's pretty much at 100% figure for those areas compared to the national average, which is right at the 100% mark. The cost of living, according to salary.com, is a little bit less in Great Falls and also in Kalispell at 98 and roughly and a half and 97, almost 98% in Great Falls and Kalispell respectively. Here we've got Bozeman here, and we've got Belgrade, which are is a bedroom community to Bozeman. Bozeman had, it's not on our list here, but it had a huge boom in their real estate market. Yet it's showing a cost of living just about 1.2%. And that's very similar to Butte. If you're familiar with Butte at all, that's an old mining town. So we're just around 102% of the national average. Helena, interestingly enough, has the highest cost of living index for our cities in our report at just about 103.5, despite having some of the least expensive real estate. The other elements of the cost of living in Helena are apparently quite a little bit more. Now, here's a chart that tallies all of the elements of the 7 communities that we highlighted in this video. So who do you think wins? Leave us a comment below. Do you have any interest in living in any of these communities? Are you looking to move from Missoula County to Ravalli County and you want to see the differences? Of course, taxes would be one of the differences. Well, this wraps up our video on the economics, crime, and real estate prices that have a factor on cost of living and quality of life in 7 Montana communities. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Montana Real Estate channel. The Siphers family has been a resource for folks buying and selling real estate in Montana since 1966. Let us help you with your move into and around the state of Montana. Until next time, be well.